Hey guys, Miss Olson here out in my backyard today in this gorgeous weather, showing you how to create our Anna Atkins style cyanotypes, but make them in the digital format. Now let me flip my camera around here. I actually want to show you guys. Here's my white piece of paper, and I went digging around my yard and found these cute little funky little cute little funky bauble things. I thought they were adorable, and I thought they'd make a really good cyanotype. So first thing I did was grab a few of them, and then I arranged them kind of fun on this paper, sort of dead center. And now I'm just photographing them from directly above in nice even lighting. Now I found this nice even lighting in the shade. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a shot just like this. Okay, I'll take a couple just in case. And I'm gonna make a few different compositions. I also have this cactus. He's in a plant, in a pot, but I love all of the lines and designs, so I'm actually gonna do this one as well, right on that white background. I'm gonna go ahead and take a couple shots there. Okay, so I'll just back up from my setup here so you can see. All right, I'm just in nice even light, just over on my patio, and just grab some plants from my backyard. Go ahead, search around your neighborhood, front yard, backyard. It doesn't have to be huge. I mean, look how teeny tiny these little things are. That would be just fine too. All right, so then step 2 is going to be creating the cyanotype. So that will be step 2. Okay, once you have gotten your image, or actually your 3 images, because you're going to be turning in 3 for this assignment, I suggest taking more than that. I would take 5 or 6 different kind of compositions. You could mix up the plants and flowers. If you have no plants and flowers at all, look around your house, see what you could use instead. Maybe something kind of like what we used for our photo story yesterday. So, and then you're going to come to Pixlr. So I'm going to come to Pixlr. This whole thing is going to be done inside Pixlr. And I'm going to take the image that I used. If you see, I was kind of playing around. This is what we're ultimately going to make, that blue one right there. And I'm going to come to my image. There we go. And the very first thing I'm going to do is come to the tools, and I'm going to crop this in. If you notice, I have some of the table. If you didn't get some of the table, good for you. I definitely did. Okay, and I'm going to crop that. I could also come into the tools and I could adjust this a little bit. It's a little dark. I'll bring the exposure up, the contrast up a little tiny bit, and there we go, just a tiny bit. Now, we're gonna create this look all completely in effects. So I'm gonna come to the little star, which is effects, and I'm gonna scroll, keep scrolling, and if you notice at the top, for example, it says soft at the top. This is the soft palette. Keep scrolling, keep on scrolling, and we're gonna get to atomic. And when you get to atomic, go ahead and choose monochrome. If you don't have monochrome, I'm going to X out of there. If you don't have monochrome, choose negative, okay? But I'm going to choose monochrome. Now, if you notice what happened to my image, I actually now have a negative of this shot. So think about our assignment yesterday where we had making a negative. I have a negative of this shot. I'm going to go ahead and hit the check mark. And I'm actually going to come back into my adjustments now, and I'm just going to play around with contrast just a little bit. I'm going to bump that up. I'm going to lower my shadows just a little bit, get that a little darker, and I'm going to lower my saturation. If you have any color in this, if it's not looking pretty much just grays and whites and blacks, you probably will need to lower your color. Okay, there we go. That's looking pretty good. Okay. You can play around with yours as much as you want, but this is basically what I'm looking for at this point. Then I'm going to come back into effects, and we're going to keep scrolling. And there's a couple different effects you can use. I'm going to show them to you. So the first ones are under vintage. You can use Doris up in the upper right. You can use Nash. Nash is probably one of my favorites. If we keep scrolling, under soft, we could use Robert, or we could use Camille with a little bit of editing afterwards. Keep scrolling all the way to the end. Here on subtle, we could use the one in the lower right-hand corner named Ronnie. Okay, I'm going to scroll back over to Nash. Okay, so we're gonna come to, keep going, we're back here in Vintage, and I'm going to pick Nash. And once I pick Nash, if you notice, now I am getting the look of a cyanotype. Now, can I pull detail out of this and make it a little punchier in color? I sure can. Let's come back over to our toolbox. Let's come back to our adjustments. And now I can bump the contrast up. If you notice, kind of like my white areas don't have very much detail, that's okay. Lower my shadows a little bit, and then I'm gonna come over to saturation. I'm gonna bump my saturation up just a tiny bit. I could even push the hue to make it more blue. Okay. And there I am getting sort of the look of a cyanotype. I can always undo steps. If you notice, there I am undoing. I'm gonna come back to effects, show you some of my other favorites. Here's Doris. That looks great. You might need to kind of play around and see which one works best for you. Ooh, I like that look. Okay. Now you want it to be pretty monotone. You can kind of keep layering effects. There I just layered Hagrid on top, and I'm liking how that looks too. Once you like how it looks, you're looking for a white subject on a deep blue background, just like this, and just like the examples on Schoology, you're gonna hit done. Once you come to done, you're gonna hit save image and okay, and that will be one of the files that you turn in on Schoology. Close out of there. Again, I'm gonna undo these a little bit. There we go, I'll come back to here. I'll do one more just so you can see. We're gonna come through. The Josh one might work well. Yeah, there we go. Just kind of play around, see what works best for your particular shot. Danny works. That one needs a little bit of tweaking, so that would need some editing. And Ronnie I really like. Ronnie works well. If you click into here to Ronnie and then come back to your adjustments, I can come into vibrance and increase my saturation, get some really beautiful blues. See? Yeah, I love the Ronnie one. That one works out. That one I think works out a lot as well. So there's just a couple of different choices for you to use. Okay? Again, I would hit done, save image, and okay. And there would be one of the files that I turn in. Feel free to experiment, see what works for you, and I can't wait to see your cyanotypes.